Hi, I'm a helpful Southern California Honda person, and this holiday season we've been doing random acts of helpfulness, like giving out free Christmas trees, helping out at children's hospitals, and providing warm meals for the less fortunate. And during the Happy Honda Days sales event, we can help you too, with a great deal on an award-winning Honda, like the 2016 CR-V, a 2016 IIHS top safety pick. Click the dealer locator link to find a dealer near you and go to SoCalHondaDealers.com to suggest a random act of helpfulness for someone you know.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all hot dogs.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Here's Gingy.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Have you checked the children?
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I think he's in trouble. Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
Look, just a flesh wound.
Hello, Flesh Wound Radio freaks, and welcome to a brand new special episode of Horror Society Presents Flesh Wound Radio. I am Daniel Schein, joined, as always, by Todd Loya. Todd, how goes the day?
Yeah, busy day for me, but good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I've got to say I'm pretty pissed at my neighbors, but other than that, pretty good. I don't know if anybody's ever sold a house and, like, the neighbors don't fucking mow their lawn, like, at all, and it just looks... I mean, literally, for people that are pissed at Walking Dead when all the lawns are freshly mowed, they could fucking film no problem next door right now. I am so pissed. I was so pissed I even reported them, which I'm not, like, normally someone to do that, but yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much my. Otherwise, it was a good week. That was my annoyance for the week, but I can't complain. People have got bigger problems. So, what have you been up to?
Geez, quite a bit.
Editing.
Yeah, seems like it. I was doing it up till 2 minutes before we came on the air.
Yeah, I was going to say that's it's always a rewarding job though when you get the final product at the very least, you know, because you can kind of sit down and enjoy your work. And I saw kind of some interesting stuff going on with UEW this past few days. Some former names that might be popping up, which looks pretty cool. So I look forward to the DVDs on those.
Yes, there's actually quite a bit coming very soon.
Oh, sweet. So yes, it's been an interesting week. We have a little bit of we have a few different news bits for you guys, including more horror television news. These series have been coming fast and furious lately. I mean, it's just insane. And the new one is apparently Fatal Attraction, which is going to be the next movie in line to become a television series. Apparently, Fox is developing it as an event series, which I don't know if that means miniseries or what, but they don't actually say that. Apparently, the Mad Men team of Maria and Andre Jacquemetton are going to be executive producing it for Paramount Television. And, of course, if you're not familiar, the original film course, was with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas. What do you think about this one, Todd? That doesn't seem to have enough legs for like a multi-season series, to me anyways.
Yeah, that is a weird one. Well, I mean, I guess if you look at the crazy bitches that are always around, I guess it would work.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, like a new crazy bitch stalking some guy every show, or is it just the same crazy bitch popping up all over the place for the one poor guy?
Yeah, well, I mean, can it do any worse than Scream?
I haven't watched it. Has it been any good?
See, that's the thing. No one else has either. It got under 1 million views.
Well, it sounds like Scream will be going the way of Hannibal soon, which Hannibal didn't deserve it. But I can't. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when it first debuted, I don't know how many episodes they've had. I know a lot of people were talking about it on, my Facebook, and then it's like nobody. It just.
There's only one episode so far. It was on. Yeah, I missed the premiere. I think it was Tuesday. I did end up DVRing it. Maybe it was Wednesday. I don't know. It was earlier this week. I've just been busy, so I haven't had a chance to watch it. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Oh, okay, I thought maybe they had a few episodes. I don't know. It seemed like a lot of people were talking, then nothing. So I thought maybe there were a few episodes in and people just weren't liking it.
They did play the first 8 minutes like the week before to try to get people to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. Maybe I'll try and catch that on demand. We can give our thoughts. Oh, that's pretty bad. Usually, if you can't deliver on a premiere, you're in trouble nowadays. But who knows? Like I said, I don't know. Fatal Attraction. I guess it just depends what they do with it. I mean, maybe it's going to be more of a character study on the Glenn Close character, and it's not going to specifically just focus on one guy. I don't know. We'll see. I can't say I'm super psyched for it, but, hey, it's great to see horror television still kicking ass out there. And another bit of news, this is, I don't know whether to be excited about this one or not, but apparently there's going to be a Bad Seed remake. But it's going to be through Lifetime Network. So I don't know. I mean that's something that I suppose I could see at this point airing on Lifetime. I mean, it's certainly a classic film. It has been. It was remade, if I recall, in the 80s. Actually, a bunch of, I think David Carradine was in it, Lynn Redgrave. So it was kind of, not the first time, but we'll see. This is another one, though, that I just get the sense at this point, all these years later, it's just going to feel kind of generic. We've had a lot of evil kid flicks since then. They certainly set the bar, but I don't know. We'll see. It's cool to see even Lifetime jumping on the horror bandwagon. So again, it is. I don't know. They'll have to. It'll end up where they're taking the bad seed to therapy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think child actors right now that would. I was about to say Dakota Fanning, but I think she's in her 20s now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But probably more promising TV news is Channel Zero. Well, actually, I think never mind. I think it's, I don't know if it's called Candle Cove or, well, anyways, Sci-Fi Channel is going to be, from the press release, the development of Channel Zero with Nick Antosca, who is set to write the script, and Max Landis is set to produce and helm creative direction along with Antosca. Channel Zero will feature a unique setup with each season focusing on a new story. The first season of the horror anthology series for Sci-Fi will be based on Candle Grove by Chris Straub, a story that originates from the user-generated internet horror phenomenon known as creepypasta. It tells the story of a mysterious children's television show from the 80s and the show's role in a series of murders and one man's dark secrets. Channel Zero is a season-long, imaginative, and chilling horror anthology, said Dawn Olmsted, executive vice president of blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm actually kind of excited to see that. It's not entirely unique, because, of course, we have American Horror Story, but, again, more genre shows. I'm very happy. And, yeah, apparently there's quite a bit coming out from what I've heard for Sci-Fi Channel, so definitely keep your eyes on that. And yeah, definitely check that out. In release news, the banned film Moritaris is coming to DVD and Blu-ray from Synapse. And apparently it's going to be streaming on DVD and Blu-ray on September 8th. This one, I have not seen the film, but I've heard a lot about it. It's gotten some really, really good reviews, and the setup, which is kind of crazy, 2 lovely Romanian girls take a trip with 3 Italian men to a rumored midnight rave in the middle of a dark forest. As the gang proceeds on foot to their final destination, a mysterious graveyard is discovered, a shockingly vile plot twist is revealed, and bloodthirsty undead Roman gladiators rise from the dead to torture and mutilate their victims. For the 2 women, an already terrifying night is about to get much, much worse as the zombified warriors hunt down the group to tear their heads off. Will anyone survive the night? Yeah, this is one, from what I understand, it's like a sort of Last House on the Left rape revenge flick that turns into this insanely gory sort of zombie slasher flick. I'm pretty excited for this one. This is one I'm actually probably going to pre-order after the show. Cover art's pretty cool, and it features effects from the great Sergio Stivoletti, who, of course, is an icon. Yeah, that one, I from what I'm hearing, very, very good. So I'm looking forward to it. There have been some Italian horror films lately that haven't always quite lived up, but I have high hopes for that. So we'll see. I know that one's going to be on your pre-order list, Todd.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's Italian horror, rape, revenge. It's right up your alley. So other release news, kind of bad news, I guess, apparently, from Scream Factory. Serpent and the Rainbow, the Blu-ray, has been bumped to next year, apparently. Apparently the distributor hit some speed bumps that will delay the release until next year, but it should make the package much stronger. Undisclosed date, so it'll be a little while. And but you're going to get better bonus materials apparently. So yes, if you are expecting to get that in August, you're going to have to wait a while.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that is. I've always really liked that. I really loved all of Wes Craven's films from really the 70s through the 80s. I don't think there was anything that I didn't like. And other sequel news that we've been waiting for a while, Tremors 5 Bloodlines. They have the Blu-ray DVD art out for that, and it's coming in October to Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD. Apparently Michael Gross has talked about it recently from a recent screening, and he's pretty excited about the finished product. The film, of course, also stars, I believe Jamie Kennedy as well. And yeah, it's the 4th sequel now, television series, not the most likely of things to be developed for all these sequels and the television series, but I'm I'm pretty excited about it. This one takes place in South Africa, and apparently the graboids and ass blasters are bigger and badder, and there's some other surprises that they're throwing into the mix. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I mean, again, it's one of those ones, what else is there to do with it? But the movies have been fun. I enjoyed the last one. I know not everybody did, but I did enjoy the last one, kind of a rare Billy Drago hero performance in that one.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Very, very rare, actually. I was going to say, I think Mirror, Mirror 3, he played a hero, and there really aren't very many that he plays the good guy. But, yes, and the last bit of news that I have anyways is Ash versus the Evil Dead. I mean, it's really not like a whole lot of news about it, but anything they post makes people go fucking nuts. Of course, they had that image of the first full image of Bruce Campbell as Ash. They've also, at the San Diego Comic-Con, which is July 10th at the San Diego Convention Center, they're going to be having a panel for the show, which is going to be featuring the executive producers, as well as Sam Raimi, Rob Tapert, Bruce Campbell, and Lucy Lawless. God, it's coming close now, and I haven't geeked out over something like this in a while. I am genuinely psyched for this show. So I know I'm hoping for a Halloween night. I don't know about you.
I have way too much to do Halloween night. I like Halloween week. Oh shit! It's on a Saturday. That's what DVRs are for.
That's true. I don't know. This is one though. I mean, I DVR most everything nowadays, but that one, I mean, that's kind of like Walking Dead. It's just like I've got to watch it live. You know, I don't know that this is necessarily going to be a water cooler show per se, but the first one certainly is. And I just don't want to find out anything.
I don't think I can convince UW for a 30-minute intermission if it airs on Halloween. Although maybe I can.
Just have everybody stop and continue after it's over. It's worth it for that. I'm sure Supreme, I know he was excited when we had him on for the show, so I'm sure everybody will be cool with it. So that's about it I have for news, except that the Roger Corman Code Red Blu-ray Post Nukes have arrived. We'll obviously be doing those probably next week. So if you haven't gotten them yet and you ordered them, you should be getting them very, very soon. I'm so excited for Equalizer 2000. That'll probably segue into the show a little bit, but that might be what I'm watching after the show. I'll see. Todd, did I miss anything in regards to news? I was pretty busy today, so I might have missed something.
I've been an ostrich for like the past 5 days, so I'm sure you have everything covered. And honestly, the bits I did see, you did bring up. So there's nothing major that I know some are like, no, you forgot about. Well, we're sorry if they announce, I don't know, what would be a huge breaking thing? I don't even know. Saw 10. Would anyone care?
I don't know. Something still tells me we'll see another Saw at some point, but who knows? The only other thing, and this may...
I was going to say, something tells me we'll see another Scream now at this point.
I was going to say Ghostface may finally be dead, but you never know. I don't know. I thought Scream 4 was going to do that, but maybe it took the television show for people to realize there's no more blood flowing through the veins of that franchise. So the only other thing, this may not really be new news. We don't really talk too much about horror action figures, but nonetheless, if you still have an FYE, today I went in and they had a really cool new Alien Ripley figure. There were actually two, one jumpsuit, one in a spacesuit, and they were only $19.99, which is fairly cheap. It's cheaper than what they're going for on Amazon. So yeah, if you're on my personal page for any reason, you probably saw me post a picture. It's a pretty neat little figure, and I have most of the Alien and Predator line, and they're always pretty cool. This one looks good detail, really looks like her from that film. So yes, if you're around an FYE, check it out. That's the cheapest I've seen it. And yeah, I think without further ado, we can get into the show tonight. So we're really excited to do this show. Todd and I are both huge Post Nuke fans. We talk about it all the time, and just so stoked that we finally got, 6 new ones on, well, not new ones, but 6 new ones to Blu-ray from the golden era. And obviously tonight we're going to be doing Spaghetti Apocalypse, talking a little bit about the Italian Post Nukes that Blue Underground just put out. And yeah, first before we get into it, and we'll talk a little bit in general as well as our reviews, but Todd, what was the first one? I know it's probably Mad Max for most people, but what was the first big time Post Nuke that you saw and really captured your imagination? For me, I really think it might have been Equalizer 2000.
I honestly want to say it was, it was either The New Gladiators or 2019. What is the full title? After the Fall of New York?
After the Fall of New York.
Yeah. It was
Michael
one
Sophie.
of those two. Yeah, and they were right around the same time. I honestly don't remember which is first. I want to say it was 2019, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Michael Sopke, the actor that headlined that. He was also, of course, Massacre in Dinosaur Valley, Blast Fighter, some really cool movies. Didn't do a lot, but I always really enjoyed him. That one, I don't know. I'm hoping that might get a Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
It seems like this is the popular thing. I know we still have Dune Warriors coming, but I haven't heard whether that's going to be a Blu-ray or not.
Yeah, I haven't either. One would hope so.
At this point, I would certainly hope so. I have a feeling these are going to sell pretty well, and because we were talking, I don't know if we had talked about this on air last week or not, but the new region-free German Blu-rays for Nemesis, which yes. I have, and I can't wait to sit down and watch those. It's such a neglected era for film. There's just so many great sci-fi action type stuff, and certainly Post Nuke, that it's just gone forgotten, and it's a shame because these films hold up so very well.
No, I agree. I haven't revisited many that my opinion hasn't changed. There's stuff which we do have a blue for, another one recently I know we reviewed. Not one of the best, but I still enjoy it. I have the same feelings now as I did when I was a kid, and that was Exterminators from the year 3000, available via Scream Factory.
Yeah, 3000. Yeah, that that everybody kind of talked about that one, like, oh, this isn't one of the best, but rewatching it again, I actually really like that one too. It's sort of a genre where, kind of probably spoiling the reviews for tonight, but I really can't think of any of them that I didn't like. Off the top of my head, not one. There's probably some, in the last 10, 15 years that I didn't care for as much, but it's just crazy. And I'm so excited that we are getting some, not all necessarily Post Nuke, but this, what's the name of the company? Digi Dreams, or I know that, it's the German company that put out the Nemesis box set. There's so much coming from them. I hope it's going to be region-free. The Philip J. Roth collection that they're going to be putting out with Apex and Digital Man, I think American Cyborg, several others. And it's been a long time coming for these films.
Yeah, another thing, I know the one thing about that company is sometimes the transfers are a little off. They also put out Cyborg, the Albert Pune cut under Slinger, I believe is the name.
Yeah. Yeah, although, though, the thing about that, because I interviewed him with Brian Harris years back, a lot of it was never completed, so that version's not really fair to judge as a regular movie.
Yeah, you're right, and I kind of segued a little off on that. I was saying the quality's hit and miss, and another one notable that they put out. Yeah, I wasn't going to use that as a quality reference because that one is what it is. I mean, there is perhaps an example of one that's not their best. But I mean, yeah, the guy who runs it, whatever his name is, I forget.
Oliver.
He loves the there you go. He loves the overdue and orange stuff, but I'm just so happy to get some of these on Blu-ray. I don't care. And although I think he is a certain company's German relative of sorts, because he tends to go crazy on the forums.
Yeah, I'm just sort of becoming familiar with it. I remember he told me, it's like, did you know the Nemesis films were out? Like, I was like, during the show, I think I was like trying to order the set.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We'll get into. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've put out, a few other good things. I know there's some other stuff on the horizon. I know you mentioned. I didn't hear about Apex.
I saw. I found I think it was from like 2014, but some Blu-ray. I think it was on Blu-ray.com. A forum post where they were talking about some of the stuff they have and announced. I can't remember which ones were a part of the Philip Roth set, but I know Apex, American Cyborg, which is a really good one. I want to say Digital Man might have been one. It's some very promising stuff that hasn't even had a DVD release. So, those are ones that I think people are particularly starving for, because it's just been so long. It's like, oh shit, I remember that. And that's kind of the theme, I think, with the movies tonight. If you're not familiar with them, there's a very strong although 2 out of the 3 tonight have had a DVD release, but for many of the films in this genre, it might be one of those ones that's stuck in your head for a long time that you rented and loved, and now you can remember. So I certainly hope we see more of these, but we can't really, because it's not Italian. It all started in Australia, but we kind of have to talk about Mad Max because it's the one that started it all. And when people talk about the most ripped off movies, Mad Max might be number one. It's hard to say. I mean, you've got Die Hard was ripped off many, many times and still is. Of course, Alien has been ripped off many, many times. But I don't know about you, Todd. Mad Max may have them beat as far as direct and blatant rip-offs go.
Yeah, I can't think of, you could argue Halloween and the slasher genre, but those are different. But then again, this genre, they're different enough too, so that's a close one. I don't know. I guess we'd have to count if there's more slashers or more post-nukes. I kind of think there's more slashers. But at a certain point, they stopped copying. But honestly, that works on both, the slashers and the post-nukes, so...
Well, in the slashers, too, it's debatable. It's like, where did it start, Certainly Halloween, there were some direct rip-offs, but, can you give them full credit?
Yeah, I mean, I know people argue Black Christmas and the stuff that came before, but it's kind of like the whole Paranormal Activity started the found footage craze, or did Blair Witch, or did Cannibal Holocaust. There's no, it's not which came first, it's which started it. And I know we had this discussion on our old show, and and I think that's what it goes down to, what started it.
Yeah, we did. We had a very, I remember with Chris, a very passionate debate on that one. Because had some imitators, but they were all like the parodies of Blair Witch. It was the Bogus Witch Project or the Bear Wench Project, which I know you and I probably watched many times. It wasn't.
Part 5's coming out from Jim Wynorski. Jim Wynorski is about to release Part 5.
Oh, sweet. Anything from him.
There was a couple. Yeah, there was a couple serious ones. St. Francis. So yeah, that's one I did enjoy.
Yeah, I preferred it more than Blair Witch actually back in the day, but yeah, I mean, just as far as.
I'm disagreeing with you.
But Mad Max in particular, and it's funny because I love them all, but so many of the films were, I mean, there were some that it just felt like it was the same movie, between Mad Max and Road Warrior, where the boom really started after Road Warrior. You really felt like you were watching the same movie, but they were all good. I mean, the action, old school, it holds up so well. The movies are just as exciting, if not more so now, I think, as far as, the modern action film, and we've talked about it before. I go to a lot of films like that. I mean, I see everything. I'm a film geek, but you watch something like The Fast and the Furious where you're seeing maybe Vin Diesel flying over a freeway overpass and catching Michelle Rodriguez in his arms. It kind of takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And Mad Max, I mean, it's insane. I mean, for those of you that don't know the behind-the-scenes stuff on that, I mean, there's a shot in there of a guy actually getting whacked in the back of the head by a motorcycle. I mean, it's just... it's insanity, and it works so well to this day. I mean, I just watched it again, and the car chases from the very beginning, I mean, it's just hard to get that same feel. It just all feels cookie cutter. It's more complicated, perhaps, but it's just so cookie cutter nowadays. So anyways, Todd, I mean, obviously, no surprises on the review here, but revisiting the Scream Factory Blu-ray of Mad Max, how does it hold up for you today?
I haven't watched it too. I had just recently watched it not too long ago before the fourth one that came out. It's still a classic. I was going to say, do I prefer the second film? I mean, there's something really cool about the first one that the second one, makes bigger and does that. But that very first one there's just something about it that I tend to watch that one the most out of the three. Mm-hmm. Or should I call it, or is it the Gibson trilogy now? I don't know how we're going to differentiate the series now.
Well, truthfully, the new one... I mean, it all happened. I mean, it's still connected, so I consider Fury Road the fourth film.
Yeah, that is true.
Or we can consider it the third, and Beyond Thunderdome didn't happen. I don't know.
I just want to know how Tupac ends up in all that in the Thunderdome, but that's a little different. That's a California Love reference for the kiddies who I don't know. I'm old.
That's okay. But I mean, I don't know. Watching it again, it's just these films are perfect to me. They just, And Mad Max in particular, I mean, it's not, if you've never actually sat down and watched it, and I know that's rare, but if you find you're not a big fan of these older action flicks, that Mad Max was really well made. I mean, there was some really compelling drama in there from that shot when he comes in and sees Goose. I mean, they never actually show it, but just that horror in his eyes after, you know, he was lit on fire. I mean, it's a lot of pretty fucked up stuff happens in this movie. It's not super gory. There's a little bit of gore here and there, but just the emotional aspect of it, too. I mean, it's actually a pretty good drama. You know something bad is probably going to happen to his wife, but they kind of, you know, they build up to that a little bit, really build the suspense, and it's I don't know, it's a film that really works on so many levels beyond just the action, and it's easy to see how it made Mel Gibson a superstar.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't go on any racist rants back in 1979 when they shot this.
Yeah. Lucky for him, he got a nice 30-year career out of it. Yeah, is that right? 30 years?
Yeah, he's really...
I don't remember about when he went crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your of course, and it's really cool because the Scream Factory Blu-ray does have an interview with Mel Gibson, Birth of a Superstar, I believe it was, which I was kind of surprised to see him interviewed. What do you think about him, though, in general? Is it at a point where, you know, people need to just forgive him and, you know, start putting him in movies again?
I don't know. That's a hard one. People, it's, you know, I mean, it's a hard thing. It's a different, I don't even know how to say it. Yes, I think they should because, you know, we've got so politically correct, pussified. Yeah, people say fucked up shit, and you know what? 15 years ago, half the people you like were probably talking shit on, you know, minorities and whatever in the back, you know. It just wasn't out there like it is now. They didn't have access to social media to say their stupid shit or, you know, whatever. I mean, how many, you know, dead hookers do they have to get rid of for W.C. Fields and all that shit back?
I was going to say,
you know,
30 years ago, Gibson probably was threatening to burn somebody's house down, but they're going to blow him first. You just didn't have the internet and TMZ.
Yeah.
But
we can get on a whole rant of how pussified we've become, but
you know,
it gets frustrating.
It's kind of on topic, just for that point. But 2 days ago, right? You know, because they have all this Confederate flag drama going on right now, and you know, I'm annoyed. I personally would never be the type of guy that would walk around with the Confederate flag. I mean, I think, you know, it's a little ridiculous maybe taking. I heard something about Confederate like merchandise in like Gettysburg gift shops that they're pulling them, and you know, it gets a little bit ridiculous, I think, when you're doing that. But the other day, I'm a Doctor Who fan. And I don't know, this is just the stupidity of people. And I had, you know, if you know that show, the TARDIS and the, you know, the Union Jack on the hat. And somebody, it's just the stupidity of West Virginia, I guess, like, it's a Confederate flag. You know, why are you wearing that hat? And I'm like, it's fucking British. You know, what the hell are you talking about? But you're right, a lot of people that kind of take, you know, something that probably definitely should have gone down. I mean, I'm not denying that at all. I do think there's certainly some racism attached to the Confederate flag, but just how crazy people get. And I don't know, like I said, Mel Gibson, you can't say the guy hasn't suffered, and I mean, he's lost millions and millions of dollars. You know, give the guy another shot. I don't know. He really had a pretty good record. The guy didn't make a lot of shitty movies when I go back and look at it. I mean, some were better than others, but not a whole lot of shit on his resume, you know, post Mad Max. But who knows? We'll see if he can come back.
We did get it in Machete 2 at least.
Yeah, I was going to say it seems though. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to hammer out another Braveheart or something. I keep thinking maybe Lethal Weapon, but I don't know. Danny Glover at this point, they're going to be pushing it. But I'd like to see another Lethal Weapon. I don't know if the franchise, any franchises he has that can kind of bring him back into the fold.
Yeah, I think that's what he has to go back to the well to do it, and you know he could do it for Mad Max, but. Yeah, well, it'd be kind of hard to do that now. That's the problem. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's the continuity now from the series, which I didn't necessarily think they were going to do. But yeah, no, I mean, Mad Max, it's the one that really started it all. You know, I just going back, I'm shocked at how well this one holds up. Some films are timeless. I definitely think this is one of them. And I guess, you know, I really think just the origins of what's so popular now with, and, you know, of course, Death Race 2000 is what you can attribute to this, but the sort of video game culture where, you know, people can just go around and be complete asshole pieces of shit and, you know, do whatever they want to people. I think this film just really inspired so much that you don't even think about. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's a 5-star movie in my opinion. No shocker there. And I have to say, if you haven't seen Fury Road, definitely check it out. I think it's cool that Miller was back. That's another. I mean, we never did an official review for it, but that's another 5-star movie as far as I'm concerned. Although some might say Tom Hardy wasn't, or the Mad Max character wasn't necessarily the star of that. You know, Charlize Theron certainly probably saved the day even more than he did. But just both great films and the origins of a great franchise. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the latest one next week too, I believe. We'll close it out with the model.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know, Todd, anything else to say about Mad Max? I know it's not really a review, but anything you want to say maybe about the package, the Blu-ray?
Yeah, the one good thing about the package is it does, both of the Superstars actually a different feature. I know, there's like a few, but that's the one that was missing on the old MGM Blu-ray that was on the old MGM DVD. So this edition ports everything over and adds the new interview with Mel Gibson and I want to say a new photo gallery. It's got a new, I can't remember how long the feature was with the interview. It was a new interview, but it's great to have everything on package and the new added content. It's one I hear a lot though, that it's like, if they don't, people are on the fence about upgrading to the Screen Factory version.
Yeah, to me it's a no-brainer. Although I'm trying to compare the original release. I can't really remember, but for me, the Mel Gibson interview alone was worth it. Yeah, because I didn't expect them to get him.
Yeah, I didn't either. That was, and then if you're like, oh well, I guess it kind of makes sense. But that was so a surprise that they did. Exactly, it was a no-brainer for me too. But I've heard a couple people kind of say that. And then I saw MGM has another new Blu-ray coming out. Same old Blu-ray, new packaging for them. It's like, geez, give Screen Factory a minute to try to sell theirs.
Yeah, I was going to say that is awfully fast, but I guess they figure. I still don't understand why Scream Factory and some of their releases aren't in Walmart. I mean, because some of them are big films. I mean, and why they can't. I mean, I've seen a few. I saw Day of the Dead and a couple others. Sometimes just the DVD, but just really a lot of the stuff. I mean, I'm not necessarily expecting to see them putting, Ghost House and Witchery out there, but I mean, Class of 1984 and Invaders from Mars and some of these bigger, more mainstream titles. Even Dog Soldiers. I mean, I just don't get why we can't get those in
New York.
Realtors. Huh?
I said Escape from New York also.
Yeah. Although I will say Mad Max was there.
Yeah, that one was. And honestly, we'll probably end up talking a little bit about Escape from New York, too. There's a little bit of that in Post Nuke history, too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Kind of even the Warriors, kind of not Post Nuke in it itself, but they did sort of borrow from that in some of these films as well.
That'll be.
Yeah, I guess we'll hit our first review before we do our musical break, and we'll kind of tackle these in the order of the special features and, basically the order, I believe, in which they were shot. And the first one is 1990, The Bronx Warriors, of course, from director Enzo G. Castellari. And from the back cover, the first to die were the lucky ones. It's 1990 and the Bronx has officially been declared a no man's land. The authorities have given up all attempts to restore law and order. When a young, beautiful woman runs away from Manhattan into this wasteland of motorcycle gangs and marauding warriors, her corrupt father sends a ruthless mercenary to bring her back at all costs. But gang leader Trash has other plans, uniting the rival outlaws to wage an all-out guerrilla war against their corporate oppressors. This is a 1982 film. Probably, for me anyways, I would consider this the weakest of the three, although I still love it. It definitely felt like the smaller film, I think, for me. But Todd, what do you think of 1990 Bronx Warriors?
Yeah, it's funny. You say it felt like the smaller film because I get that, but I mean, honestly, for them, that was like such a more big deal because they spent so much time in the Bronx shooting. I wonder if it's also partly to do with the post-nuke genre hadn't really found itself. I mean, by the time we get to the end of this stuff, it's the genre we truly love. They're still playing with the elements, like we mentioned earlier. You brought up the Warriors. It definitely has the Warriors feel, a bit of Escape from New York, and a bit of Mad Max mixed in. Yeah. It's still, and go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say a lead actor that looks like Chachi from Happy Days had a bastard love child with Motley Crue.
Yeah, I know. I know you're just waiting for the Thunder trilogy to hit Blu-ray. It is. I mean, the lines in this one, though, there were some hilarious, a lot of camp in this one, which I certainly love. I loved when Fred the Hammer Williamson, who I really would have liked to have seen a little bit more of in this, but when he shows up with his pimp car brigade and basically for that huge scene, basically to just tell somebody to go fuck themselves. It was pretty funny, and the lines. I mean, there's lines like on the un-PC 80s, I guess. Just keep talking, fag face, and I'll tear your fucking lid off. Or my favorite, I think, is you've got your gray matter in your butt. The dubbing in particular, the Clockwork Orange-looking Cirque du Soleil freaks. These films, they're exciting, they're fun, but they also certainly have their unintentional humor at this point as well. Yeah, I agree. I was actually thinking of Clockwork Orange. I'm mentioning that too because, well, yeah, there's no way out of that. The Clockwork Orange meets Fame, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I will say that, and I forget. Oh, jeez, I should know his name. But the lead actor, Mark Gregory.
Yeah. Well, the English version. Yeah.
Yes. I'm not going to try to butcher the Italian pronunciation. But I mean, it's obvious he got better. You know, later on, you could see in this one, like I know you mentioned. Yeah. His walk is pretty ridiculed throughout this all the special features, and apparently the Hells Angels had some fun
17.
with that. Yeah, I did not know that. I mean, after they mentioned that, and then you look at him, he does look really young.
Yeah, I could buy it. Yeah, it's and yeah, well, as we will review later, his acting skills I definitely think got a lot better over the year in between the next one. And that's we should talk a little bit about the extras on this. I thought the extras on all of these were pretty fantastic, starting with part one of the director and producer sort of sit down discussion, and this particular one I thought that was interesting because they shot, like you said, in the Bronx, early 80s. You know, it was pretty violent place, and they get into just a really nice special feature, just like two friends sitting down reminiscing about the old days, and they kind of talk a little bit about the Hells Angels and I guess the president of the New York City chapter being in the movie. You know, just some of the interesting ways that Enzo handled a heckler in particular, where he apparently walks up and threatened to shank him in the eye. It was. I really enjoyed this. They almost make it. It's a good marketing technique because, you know, you got to buy all three to see, you know, the extra features and how they progress into, you know, part one.
Yeah. I know the placement of those kind of threw me off because I was like, wait, I guess my order was off. But it's not the order of viewing; it's the order of production.
I was going to say, I mean, really, two of these are connected. The other one, not really, except in director and cast.
Yeah, I know that, and then that's why I was really confused because I've always heard that when the last one as part of the Bronx Warriors trilogy, but it's never really had anything to do with it. And then I was like, part two, does this fall in between? Is the hammer still somehow? It was confusing, so I was like, I'm watching normal order. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because if you go by the year, they all take place. You have 1990, 2000, and then 2019. So
yeah.
So that was my deciding factor.
I don't know really if. I don't know if New Barbarians was supposed to. You know, I mean, obviously it wasn't, but I don't know. Like, these are different people, or I was going to say ancestors, but no, it really wouldn't have been that much later. But yeah, no. I mean, the extras on this, and they also include a visit with Paolo Ricci, who was the weapons rental guy for some of Enzo's movies, and Enzo takes a tour of this guy's storage facility, I guess, with all of these really cool weapons that he created for him over the years. And again, it's another cool special feature. It's just like two friends reminiscing about the good old days. They talk about you know, all the westerns that they, you know, were shooting back in the day, and just in general in Italy right now, people just aren't making movies like they used to. And Enzo, who I have had the pleasure of meeting, actually, really funny guy, and it does come across here where, you know, he's asking the Paolo if he uses the handcuffs on anything, or some pretty funny little jokes.
And if he still uses condoms, I got a laugh out of that too.
Yeah, the condom squibs. Yeah, the special features were really good. You know, they were just. And did you notice one thing? And he talks about it later in the special features in his interview, but on one of the other releases. But Fred the Hammer Williamson's rules for his films that he said about not dying, always getting the girl, and never losing a fight, I believe, kind of broke that in this one. At least one of those rules.
Yeah. I'm trying to think now. I also think those are the Wesley Snipes rules too. Which one is? I'm trying to think.
Well, I don't want to throw out a direct spoiler, but
okay. I think I know which one. Okay, my brain's been distracted this week.
But he just exudes cool, and he's another one that I met, I don't know, probably back in like 2008 or 7 or so, and he's like exactly as he comes off on screen. He's fucking hilarious, and he's still, I mean, the guy's well into his 70s, I believe now, and still looks like he could kick the living shit out of you if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So yes, like I said, this one, it's the weakest of the three, but it's not weak.
I agree.
Certainly is.
I still enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's not quite like non-stop action like the other two, and the acting maybe was a little not quite as great from the lead. But in the realm of Post Nuke stuff, and I love them all. I still give it 3.5. I mean, it's a very entertaining movie if you've never seen it before. And as far as the extras go, I have no problem. They couldn't track down Mark Gregory. They do talk about that, never knowing what became of him and how he apparently turned down something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something in the U.S. that may have really made him as a star. And I give a 5 for the extras.
Hopefully it wasn't a Mark Singer pool party.
Brian Singer, you mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Wrong.
Yes. The Beastmaster never had any, young boy pool parties. We don't want to get a call from the Beastmaster's lawyer. That might have. Yeah, I was going to say.
Thank you for catching that.
Out yet? That might have. You know, they had to be horrified when they started name dropping some of the people, like Taylor Lautner, that went to one of his parties and they became huge stars. You wonder what they had to do. But anyways, 5 for the extras and 3.5 for the movie on this one. And once again, we're not suggesting Mark Singer, ever offered some favors. I can, Beastmaster 4 might be coming. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Sort of deal.
I don't want to know what was up to Al now. I agree. Although I think with the 3.5, I mean, I had 4 in my head, but I had to take myself out of it.
Comparing it to the others, I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. I knew rating him was going to be hard anyway. But as always, from Blue Underground's beautiful transfer, solid presentation.
Yeah.
Extras are great. And if you're still haven't made the leap to HD, the DVD is included in all 3 of these Blue Underground Post Nukes we'll be discussing. So got to throw that out there. I definitely say pick it up. Honestly, we should have just reviewed them as a group at the end because I'm sure our individual movie numbers will be different. I know that.
Yeah. It's obviously tonight there's no shockers in whether we like the movies or not, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, no, like I said, this one's the weakest of the three, but you almost have to get all three. I can't imagine there's too many people that just got one, but we'll let you know which one our favorite was, just in case. And I guess we will do our musical break once again. Apologies to Mark Singer. It's Brian Singer that offers the favors. I don't know, Mark Gregory. I don't know what kind of who was around at that time that he might have done some favors for, but it was not Mark Singer. He was trying to think, did Beastmaster come out at this point? Hell, I don't know. Maybe it was Mark Singer. We don't know. He could have been like his sidekick, and it didn't happen.
He could have been a new Al.
Yeah, hey, Casper Van Dien was in Beastmaster 3. He took off not too long after that. So
this is true.
He makes good once in a while.
Tonight we have a song from the new Barbarians. I had to think which one it was. So we're going to get into that. And Dan, just so you know, I don't know if you have Hot Pocket time. You got a little over 4.5.
Sweet, I'm looking for some Hot Pockets. we are back, correct, Todd?
Yes, we are.
Well, it's good to be back. That, of course, was from New Barbarians, right?
Yes, I actually had a different song for a theme tonight, but it didn't automatically play. So that will be our outro tonight from 1990 Bronx Warriors.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
Special outro.
There you go. You'll have that to look forward to. So yes, back to the show, and that, of course, was from our new film or next review, The New Barbarians. The New Barbarians from 1983, from, of course, the same director, Enzo G. Castellari, who I should actually point out, a true legend of Italian cinema, from his Giallo work to, of course, if you aren't familiar, he did the original Inglourious Bastards, also with Fred Williamson. Just really probably one of the more reliable Italian directors, because, even Fulci, widely considered the best, and I would agree, but not all of his films were great. Castellari, at least from what I've seen, and I mean, I don't claim to have seen all his films, there really wasn't a lot of crap there. I mean, his stuff did tend to be of a higher quality, so definitely a director to potentially discover if you haven't already. And New Barbarians, from the back cover, it's the year 2019, and the world has been devastated by nuclear war. The few survivors try desperately to reach a distant land, only to be thwarted by brutal attacks from the fierce Templars and their leader, One. When solitary warrior Scorpion rescues the beautiful Alma from the clutches of the Templars, they join Nadir and a ragtag group of survivors in a furious fight to the finish against the ruthless exterminators. I don't know about you, but this one is probably my favorite of the bunch. I really enjoyed this one. There's a lot of what the fuck moments. Ever since I was a kid, I thought the idea of Nadir, of course, is played by Fred the Hammer Williamson, and his exploding arrows. I just thought that was so fucking cool. And the car chases were a little bit more exciting. You had a lot of creative weaponry on display, and it's like I said, this one's just very fast paced. There's very rarely any lulls in the action, and the Templars are particularly vicious, and I mean it's not just killing people in this, because I was pretty shocked that they went there with the rape scene, which was kind of they kind of went psychedelic with it, but it was kind of obvious what happened.
Yeah, and if not, the extras will spell it out for you. So. Yes. I was going to say the Templars take our hero, cut his pants off, and fuck him. You don't. You never saw Schwarzenegger get ass raped in an action movie, so that's or Charles Bronson. That was pretty unusual. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, wow, holy shit. Yeah, I don't think the first time I saw it, I really fully understood what was going on. I was a bit of a youngster.
Yeah.
So, but there's that to look forward to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you get to see. It was kind of weird, because same thing when I was a kid. I was like, what are they doing? They just cut his pants off, and then you're getting all of these like close-ups of the guys, like the villain, just like going wide-eyed, and it's like, what the hell's happening here? It's pretty obvious now, but yeah, I mean, this movie. Again, this one I thought really had everything that I love about these movies. From, like I said, the action I thought was awesome. There's all sorts of just the exploding arrows, like I said, just shooting people and they blow up. I mean, it was really cool. and it had all those camp moments. Like I said, again, just getting back to the un-PC nature of the films when Fred Williamson's speech about the big bad queers, the Templars, and just the foul-mouthed little blonde boy that was just completely unrealistic, but just really, really funny with the dubbing. It's a lot more lively than 1990 Bronx Warriors. You get a lot of, and you still get the ridiculous outfits, the purple mohawks, a guy tearing an entire Bible in half with one hand, and it just all the gadgets, just everything. They just don't make them like this anymore. I mean, I remembered we reviewed, I don't know, I guess about a month ago, I already forgot the name, but Road Wars, the Asylum ripoff. That did not work nearly as well. It wasn't even close to these films. But what do you think of New Barbarians?
Yeah, I agree. Out of the three, I don't know if it is, because it feels like the most Post Nuke of those three Post Nukes. I mean, it has everything you're looking for when you're looking for, for what an ideal Post Nuke is. It's got the cars you'd see. It kind of. It's just the thing. I always thought it was made after, but it was made during the time as Bronx Warriors 2, or this was already in pre-production and filmed, I believe, ahead of them. It feels like it's got. It feels like this is where they had it down. I was actually kind of surprised to know it was shot before second Bronx Warriors. So, but it definitely, I don't know, may not have enough neon titties for Dan, though, or me.
No. We really didn't get a ton of nudity from these particular three, but if memory serves me, we may get more of that in the Filipino ones.
Yes. So. Now we just need a Striker DVD. Striker,
yes. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about some of the Striker. I love Striker. We'll talk a little bit about those after these, because there's several I wanted to name drop.
Yeah, Striker is that's another Filipino one too, huh? Isn't it,
Frank Zagarino,
Yeah, okay. There's so many to keep track on a lot of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's there's a lot from this subgenre that you can discover. Like I said, and when we're done these particular reviews, we'll name drop a few. Particularly, we're doing more Italian this week, but we'll definitely name drop some. So yeah, I mean, and again, getting into the extras for New Barbarians, they continue the discussion between the director and the producer, and I think they had like 3 weeks or something insane to try and create all these cool gadgets in the movie. They talk about shooting back near home, not having the stresses of the Bronx. I thought it was kind of funny hearing Enzo talk about great whites being pulled back in the day, obviously because of Jaws and
I also like the way they put the subtitles. They didn't even want to say Jaws. I can't remember exactly what it said. It said it's like quoted another famous movie or something.
Yeah, because they probably still have those legal threat letters that they got back in the day. Speaking of like shit that is not getting released, all those Jaws ripoffs, people don't realize how many there were, because so many of them that weren't able to come out here. But yeah, no, this one was really cool. They talk about obviously the rape scene, and but even more cool is Fred the Hammer Williamson's interview, which clocked in at it was a pretty good interview. It clocked in at about 20 minutes. Of course, with his signature cigar in hand, and he talks about everything from his football career to essentially lying his way into the acting world. He just, I mean, it's so cool how you were able to do it back then. I mean, he just saw a show, Diane Carroll's show at the time, which was really kind of, I guess, really one of the first shows which featured a black female lead, and he kind of goes in, pitches himself to play her boyfriend, claiming the character was a whore because she had a different boyfriend every week, and she needed a steady boyfriend. He lied about acting experience that he didn't really have in Canada, and they signed him to a 3-year contract. And it's just, that's all it took for him to break into the acting world. And he really gets into some of the stories of how he hit it big, specifically, in Europe, becoming a pretty big star. Did quite a few European movies.
Yeah, it's funny because I was, listening to him, and they talk about his Boss Nigger trilogy, and that's one I don't think we're gonna see. It's a hard one to release. I mean, even for an indie.
Well, they put the one out as The Boss.
That is true.
So I mean, it's silly that they wouldn't. I mean, he came up with the title. It's not offensive. I mean, he made the movie, and The Boss is a great Western, a fantastic Western. I do have VCI, I believe, put that out. I'll have to look and confirm that, but I do have it. Williamson was really great.
At this point, I think it'd be reversible cover. Okay, that's untitled.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I mean, it's such a sort of a cult movie at this point that I don't think you're. I mean, again, you're not. It's not like you're going to see it in Walmart nowadays. I mean, I don't think anybody's taking offense under historical context.
That's hard to say. I mean, look at the whole Confederate flag thing. I mean, geez.
It's just some people take it like a step too far. I have no issues with the Confederate flag.
I don't either.
Banned, and not selling it in stores and shit. I mean, it is kind of a redneck thing, and there's definitely racism attached to that flag. But,
I'm waiting for the WWE Network to announce they're putting all matches with Bubba Ray wearing his Confederate bandana.
You joke, but wait until you see the blur. It'll happen.
Right.
Honestly, it takes one person really to complain and raise a shit fit about it. That's where it just gets silly. I mean, we don't like to get too political on this show, but when they're banning the Dukes of Hazzard, I mean, it's like, come on, guys. The flag should not be hanging, on a certainly state property like that. I agree 100%. A lot of the people right now running around with these flags are probably racist as fuck. I mean, there's no doubt about it, but, don't get silly about it, banning some 70s TV show. I never watched Dukes of Hazzard, but as far as I know, it's not a particularly racist show. So, as far as I know, I could be wrong on that.
I did watch Dukes of Hazzard. I think, although there was nothing great. They were just in the South. It was, their Southern pride, I guess. And that's how a lot of people from the South look at it, too, the flag and stuff. So who knows? As long as they're not banning Dukes, I think we're fine.
Yeah, I was going to say Tracy Smothers. He's lucky. I don't know what he's doing on the indie circuit right now. But yeah. Anyway, back to the movie.
And then there was also, Chris Hamrick too. His whole outfit was Confederate.
Oh, yeah, Confederate currency. Chris Hamrick. Yeah, yeah. It means different things to different people. Like I said, it's so weird, right? And I'm not in the South right now. I'll be moving to the South, hopefully soon. But there's people with like the flags all of a sudden on their cars out here. It's really kind of stupid. A lot of people are being stupid for different reasons about it, but that's how it goes. But anyway, back to New Barbarians. This one for me, these are so hard to rate because I just love them so much. I mean, again, Extras 5. I think they did a fantastic job on that. Looks fantastic. New Barbarians in particular, I think Warriors of the Apocalypse is one of the alternate titles. There have been some pretty shitty DVD discount bin prints of this one. Excuse me. I mean, this one kind of did just about everything right. I mean, again, bear in mind, I'm rating them based on, this particular subgenre. So I'm not saying this is as good as something else I would give this rating to, but it's a 4.5. I mean, for me, it's extremely entertaining.
I was going to try to spit it out before you because that's exactly what I was going to say. Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, I agree 100%. It's a 4.5. We'll have to discuss, maybe we'll do it next week, what our 5 is, because I don't know if we're going to, well, no, we're probably going to have a 5 next week, aren't we?
Probably.
That is one I'm definitely a huge fan of, too, so we might have a double. All right, 4.5 on this one for sure. And Extras 5. I mean, you get the second half of the documentary. I'm trying to think of the other one on this. This is the one with the Hammer interview. Yes, okay. Yes, you got
the audio commentaries.
Yes. I recommend it. You're gonna have soccer. I know we're both gonna be like, yes, go buy it. And then aren't they bad right now? I want to say there was $17.99 on Amazon. I know.
They're not too bad at all. Yeah, you can get. I think I paid. I think my total for all 3 was like $56, I believe, or something like that. And I think they were well worth it. Blue Underground never really price gouged people. Their titles usually were always under $20 for the most part.
Yeah.
So
and their combos too. Their combos too, which that's a little extra added value for if you want to take your DVD somewhere, because Lord knows I'm not taking my Blu-rays anywhere. I'll make a backup of the first before it leaves the house.
Yeah, no, this one's just fantastic. I do have to pose a question for you. I mean, I suppose we could do this next week or this week, really. But would you say you prefer the Filipino ones more or Italian? As a whole, I should say.
It's a hard one. I think we're going to save that for next week, just because...
Refresh yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't watched the 3 we're going to jump into next week in a while. I mean, I have... It's probably been quite a few... Not an insane amount of time. Within the last decade. I'd probably even say within the last 5 years, I've watched Equalizer. Let's pause that question till next week. Because right now I'm thinking, I think we get is it wrong? I'm thinking we get a little bit more of them neon titties in the Filipinos era.
Yeah. Santiago did deliver on that, I believe. One really interesting thing about just the Post Nukes, I was surprised we didn't get more from Australia, really. I mean, we had, I'm trying to think now. I mean, we had Dead End Driving, obviously.
Yeah, which is excellent. I love that.
You didn't have, like,
film.
a ton. Yeah, I love Dead End Driving, too. But you didn't have, like, a ton of which you would think Mad Max, probably the biggest Australian film of all time. that you never, had, like, you would think you would have, like, 20 or 30 different things. Brian Trenchard-Smith's Dead End Driving is fantastic and well worth checking out. The Aussies know how to do car action and car chases for sure. But, I don't know. I never got that.
I hope we get a Blu-ray of that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that one I would like to see. That'd be a day one purchase for sure.
Agreed.
But yeah, no. I don't know. That was just always something I never quite got. I mean, it's like your biggest film. I would think you'd have 10 knockoffs of it, but yes, getting into our final film for the evening, which is the one that correct me if I'm wrong, never had a Region 1 DVD release.
No, there was not.
Yeah, I think they had. I know it was released.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Yeah, I definitely have one from overseas. But yeah, quite a few different ones come out overseas.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if they've had the fully uncut version. I'm trying to remember. This might have been one where there was a version out there that was cut. I could be thinking of something else, but I know there was a lacking overseas release. But anyway, this is Escape from the Bronx, which is the more direct sequel to 1990 Bronx Warriors. And in this one, the year is 2000, and the Bronx has been reduced to a decaying, desolate wasteland infested with swarms of vicious street gangs and outcast scavengers. When an imperialistic megacorporation plans to rebuild the doomed no man's land into a perfect metropolis, they unleash their secret army of sadistic death squads to wipe out the few remaining inhabitants. But beneath the twisted rubble, fierce legions of resistance fighters arm themselves for the final onslaught, ready to die for their homeland and ready to kill for it. So, Mark Gregory is back in this one. His acting skills improved. Todd, where do you stand on this one?
As a film in general, I think, you got Henry Silva in it. It's always gonna be something special. I think this one is a step up from the first one. Although, a lot of it is sequel in name and cast only. I mean, only one real character carried over, and it's how many? It's 10 years in the future, and it's pretty much
years after, he still looks like he's in grade school.
Yeah, but he did learn how to walk in between, and he stopped working out as much apparently. But no, yeah, I like this one. It was always weird that this one didn't get a U.S. DVD release, considering Street Show was releasing them left and right.
Yeah.
I always hoped for it, and I just finally broke down and got one of the many imports. Good looking one too. Honestly, I think I still somewhere, I don't know, but I find the hipster quick. I still have the media tape.
Oh, really? Yeah, I liquidated my VHS years ago, but I had this one as well. I had all of these. If they were on VHS, they were in my collection. But yeah, I mean, this one definitely. And it's not really a criticism, but it takes itself a lot more serious. This one is the one with the less camp, less cheese. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. There's some great action in this. I think, probably maybe the strongest villain. Of course, you had Henry Silva, a fantastic actor, no stranger to European cinema. Antonio Sabato, and this one kind of felt like it was definitely the more serious film. Mark Gregory's acting improved. he's somebody that I could have seen potentially, and Enzo talked about it, being a bigger star, particularly as he aged a little bit more, because, even here he was probably only just 18. I didn't mind that this one was a little bit more serious. Like I said, not all of them were necessarily campy. There's still some camp in here. There's still some funny dubbing moments, trying to sort of portray Bronx accents. Definitely a lot of nastiness in this one, too, with the flamethrowers and, kind of opening up with them lighting a homeless guy on fire. And it's very entertaining and very well made.
Yeah, I can't disagree with it. I know it's hard to do because we're both on the same wavelength on a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't see us. I think we're going to be pretty much. Next week could be interesting. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see where we fall after all these years. But I kind of thought the same like this week. I'm like, I think we're going to pretty much exactly agree on these three films.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we got a half hour left. We should probably give a rating on this and kind of just talk about our general Post Nuke. Maybe we'll try to condense our stuff next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this one is number 2 on the list for me, and I still I give this one a 4. I think it was definitely a sequel that certainly outdid the original, and you get a good mix with the three films, in terms of tone and just how well old school action works. It's on display in these films, more so than ever. How many new action movies can we truly say that we love? It's not a huge list, and even smaller films like this, relatively smaller films like this, and you're looking at them thinking, God, it works so well. You might notice certain little things with dummies being mowed down and whatnot, but it works so much better, and I don't think we'll ever quite get back to this era again. I think it's an era that is going to just stand the test of time. I don't think it's going to be fully duplicated, although people have tried, and I don't know. We'll see what we're going to do next week. There's definitely a lot to talk about here, but yeah, 4 for the movie, 5 for the extras for me on this one.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I definitely think it is, the middle of the bunch, but still a great film. I love all 3 of these movies.
Oh yeah,
they're so I recommend that getting all 3. If it was a few years ago, maybe we would have got them in a nice little box, but oh well. Not that I care one way or another at this point, but it is great to have them all 3 available, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do have some time left just to talk in general, and one I will throw out there that I love to see. I want to say 1984. I could be wrong on the year, but 2020 Texas Gladiators. I would love to see that get the Blu-ray treatment.
I 100% agree, and before you throw out another one, I got to say, because there was 2 I was going to say, and that was one of them, and the other one is Endgame.
Oh, yes, that I would love. I don't, do you have any, info? I know Dune Warriors is still coming. I don't know if it's going to be Blu-ray, but I know Code Red's going to put that out. Do you have any info on some others that somebody has the rights to and might put out?
No, I wish I did. those are the ones, I want. I don't have any inside, scoop. I haven't even heard any rumblings. I'd like to see Scorpion do some too, maybe. I don't know. I just want more.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully all these do well.
Yeah, I
hopefully
hope so well.
And hopefully Blood Around put some more out. Code Red. I mean, I can't wait to, I mean, there's stuff, and there's the ones that are borderline Post Nuke. I mean, because I think when we talk about a Post Nuke film, it doesn't necessarily, mean just something that happens post-apocalyptic. I know one that kind of gets bunched in. I mean, it's a borderline one, but it's missing a lot of the elements we would consider a classic Post Nuke, and that's Rats, Nights of Terror.
Yeah, well, it's funny. That's another one. We've reviewed it before, the new release of that, but it's still one that I always sit down and watch with these.
I do, but I've never really considered it a Post Nuke. I mean, it wasn't until I noticed it on the issue pass line. I was like, yeah, I guess, that would be, I mean, by definition. It's just, not this, not the type I think of when I think of a Post Nuke film.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, a little bit different, but, nonetheless. And, I mean, there's a lot out there. I mean, some have had weak releases. Warrior of the Lost World, of course, with Donald Pleasance, and what's the one Troma put out? New Gladiators, I believe it was. The Fulci flick. There's a lot. Final Executioner. Atlantis Interceptors. I mean, there's so many. And a lot more. Like I said, it's so strange to me that there weren't more Australian ones. I don't know I don't know who I would talk to about that. That'd be an interesting question to ask George Miller. Why the hell because the Australians certainly ripped off stuff in the past, and I don't know why they never did that. Although Italy also did that to them with Patrick Still Lives, which I think was probably one of the most blatant cash-ins of all time.
Yeah, no argument there. I do still like that one.
Oh, I like it too, but the fact that it's like, I mean, they're basically all but it's a sequel. It's Patrick Still Lives. It's the same, but I don't know. But like I said, Dead End Drive-In is one. Really, Brian Trenchard Smith in general was pretty solid. I mean, of course, he did a lot after that as well. And we'll kind of maybe pose that question next week. I think most people would say that the Italian ones were better than the Filipino ones, but I think a lot of people are going to go back and watch some of the Filipino ones and think, "Holy shit, those were really good." I'm kind of curious to see even some other people's reviews as they roll in for those, because I was always very fond of the Sirio Santiago stuff, and I should throw out there, and we'll talk about this more next week, but they did the New Horizons DVD of Raiders of the Sun. They did put that one out as well on DVD, so that's one that's out there with another Richard Norton one out there if you want to pick it up. And well, we're a little bit early tonight here. Todd, do you have anything else to add?
No, I really don't.
Not a whole lot of wrestling stuff, except you want to bet $20 on Kofi Kingston for the Brock Lesnar match this weekend?
That's right. I guess when I come back from I guess I should probably think out the screening I will be having on Saturday. I'll be co-promoting. That's right.
Exactly,
I should have led with that. Well, this Friday, Creature Feature Web Show and Flesh Wound Radio present the first ever Creature Features Theater inside the Underground Auditorium in Los Angeles. Join us as we will be kicking off our 4th of July weekend with a double feature including 2001 Maniacs and the cult classic Sleepaway Camp, plus movie trivia and giveaways. That's this Friday. I'm actually heading down to the venue tonight to do a test run as soon as we're done. And so I'm looking forward to this. We've already got, all the way through the end of the year booked out. So I'm looking forward to it. I know. I know we will. I'll bring it up again. I'll give you a report how things go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll let you get to that, and we hope everybody has a very happy 4th of July. I do want to throw out there, because I see this every year, just to get serious for a moment. If you have pets, particularly as many people know, a lot of, I've actually during this show have heard a few go off, people start early. If you have pets, it's a good idea to keep them inside, because there's so many people that, dogs tend to get spooked and run away. I mean, I see it just on my Facebook page without fail every single year. So anybody, listening, remember, a lot of dogs, some don't care, most do. It spooks them. You may want to make sure they're safe and secure. So just a little warning for everybody, because it's always sad to see it. We will be back next week with some Filipino Post Nuke goodness, and we'll have a couple other non-Post Nuke reviews next week as well. There's quite a bit coming out, and Todd, I guess we can take it away with our second song for the evening.
Yes, we can, and that was from our first review of the night. But 1990, the Bronx Warriors, and we will see you next week. Good night.
See you guys.
Hi, I'm a helpful Southern California Honda person, and this holiday season we've been doing random acts of helpfulness, like giving out free Christmas trees, helping out at children's hospitals, and providing warm meals for the less fortunate. And during the Happy Honda Days sales event, we can help you too, with a great deal on an award-winning Honda, like the 2016 CR-V, a 2016 IIHS top safety pick. Click the dealer locator link to find a dealer near you, and go to SoCalHondaDealers.com to suggest a random act of helpfulness for someone you know.